Okay, so I've got a little bit to share with you. I'm sorry that I didn't give you the live stream yesterday as I said that I would. I didn't mean to fib to you, but for any of you who may not know, I have been really trying to go by the Lord's direction on my daily life. And yesterday I felt that I needed to take time off from doing any media. So that meant basically no videos, no live streaming, nothing. So I did nothing, no recording of any kind. Uh, I was supposed to work on the house. I had me a list made up for what needed to be done. And as it happened, Tuesday, it was such a busy day with me having to gather up the trash, having a really awesome walk with the Lord that morning. It just ended up being one of those days that by the time I sat down to start my earnings, I really didn't get anything done because then it was time for me to prepare for bed. And my preparation time for bed consists of 9 o'clock. I have got my watch set to go off at 9 o'clock in the evening because I'm one of those kind of people that I get caught up in whatever I'm into at the moment, and then I don't realize the time lapse. And next thing I know, it's like 11:30 or so, and I look at my watch. So, I had to set a timer for me. That way I knew when the day was over for me, and it would be time for me to go meet up with the Lord and prepare for bed. So that's just one simple thing for me. But anyway, um, so the great walk that I had Tuesday had really paid off because Tuesday I had rated 223.5. And then yesterday I came in at 222.1. So I was very pleased with the weight loss. It was really good. Um, and it made me feel, like I had really accomplished something. But I had a problem with being satisfied yesterday. And perhaps one reason is because I'd only started out with like a ham sandwich. Maybe that just wasn't enough protein to start my day. I don't know. But throughout the day, I had struggled with being hungry. Even after drinking water, I stayed hungry. And so I had made myself a very odd dish. I had gone through this period of wanting to have creamy soups because of my stomach being so bothersome. Um, Before I launch into that, let me just go on ahead and tell you, because of yesterday, I weighed in this morning at 223.3. But at least I'm 2 ounces less than I was Tuesday morning. So I'll take it. But now for me to explain to you why the weight, and I'll actually be okay with that. But anyway, my concoction for my dinner was Tuesday for my refueling. I had a thawed package of hamburger, ground beef, and I took half of that ground beef and had made it into basically just fried up ground beef with Worcestershire and Italian dressing. So I still have the other half of the package to eat up. And initially, I was thinking about fixing myself a hamburger or something with it, but I knew that that wasn't going to be satisfying enough. And so I got looking through the pantry and I thought, well, okay. As I was getting ready to say, I had gone through this thing of wanting to try to eat creamy soups because of me having a problem with so much acid reflux. And like anything I ate, anything pretty well, burned my stomach. So, I was wanting to eat cream soups for my stomach. And when we had, now, mind you, this was earlier in the year, much earlier in the year, maybe even just last year. But we grabbed some soups off the shelf. We had grabbed some cream of mushroom, some cream of chicken, and it happened that both soups were less sodium, which meant they were also flavorless. And so they've just been sitting in the pantry and me not knowing what to do with them or anything, because I know that if I use them in a dish and I either add salt or other spices or whatever, it will improve them. I just didn't know what to do with them. So looking through the pantry yesterday, at first I thought the cream of mushroom. And then I thought, no. But then I thought about the cream of chicken. Uh, there's a great big old jar of powdered chicken bouillon. So, all right. And I knew that by adding the chicken bouillon, that would bring flavor back to that soup. So I came up with the brilliant idea. I put the soup in the pan, added 1 scoop of the chicken bouillon, uh, filled about 1/3 of the can with water so that, of course, I could get the rest of the soup out of it, and added the hamburger. And so I stirred it up, broke up the ground beef so that it would cook more evenly and everything. And I thought, okay, let's go a little further. So I grabbed the powdered onion, put just a little bit in there. I thought, let's go on ahead and grab some curry. So I grabbed my curry, and it's Indian style curry from Andrew Zimmern, which actually does have a little bit more flavor than just your average curry. And I added just a little bit of that. And I'm stirring it, making sure it's well mixed. And I thought, I just know that isn't going to be satisfying enough. What else can I add to it? Mashed potatoes. So I grabbed the box of the mashed potato flakes, added about maybe it is just a little less than 1/4 a cup. Threw that in, stirred that up. Oh yeah, thickened up nicely. And I thought, I've got leftover green beans that I gotta eat up too. I thought, why not? So I got the leftover green beans and I drained the rest of the juice out of the green beans. That way that it wouldn't, because I wanted it to stay thick from the mashed potatoes, and I knew that if I added the green bean juice into it, it would have made it liquefied again. So I drained the juice and threw in my green beans that had ham bits. So it became pretty protein packed between the ham bits and the ground beef. Stirred it up, finished heating it over, made sure the ground beef was thoroughly cooked. And I just went on ahead and I put it in like a souffle bowl. But this has got handles, so I don't know if it's for souffle or just basic soup, but whatever the case. Anyway, I put some in it and I put the rest up into the saving bowl that I'd had the green beans in. And I ran on ahead and I was greatly hoping that it was going to be good because I kept sneaking little taste tests from the remnants that was around the inside of the pot that I was using. And it kept tasting good. So I had very high hopes of it tasting good because my thought was, all right, if this does not taste good, I've just wasted the rest of my hamburger and my green beans that would have tasted good regardless. And I would have to fix myself something else. And mind you, I'd already been going throughout the entire day hungry. Everything that I ate, I was not satisfied. I mean, before that, I'd even had myself a 3-stack pancake, and like I felt full from eating it, but at the same time, I wasn't full, you know? And so my thought was, I don't know what I'll eat if this does not hit the spot or taste good. So I took a little bite and it was delicious. And I ate it up. Now, it probably only measured about half a cup, 3/4 of a cup, but I'd served myself. So I've got more in the refrigerator, and it's good to know that it's good stuff. But once again, I was hungry after eating it. Even though I felt like I was full when I was eating it, I was still hungry after. And like I said, even after drinking my water, I was still hungry. So it's possible that I was exceedingly dehydrated, or I don't know. But I found myself really feeling desperate. And I have really been working hard not to have a whole bunch of junk food because I am greatly enjoying the more balanced, wholesome foods. But as I've said many times before, I wouldn't make it that I would never have anything sweet for to snack on, but it would be at a minimal when I would. So in other words, like once every 1 or 2 weeks or so, you know. And so last night I was getting very anxious for my housemate to get back from church. And it was getting rather close. And DG closes at 9, but he got back in time. And I immediately went to my room, started counting my change because I don't have a buildup of my monetary resources yet, but I do keep change. So I'm counting my change, and he's asking me how did the dog do, because we've got this ritual that if the dogs eat their dinner good, then they get a marrow-bone for their treat later in the evening. So he's asking about Miss Bouncy if she ate good or not, and he saw me counting out that change, and he immediately opened up his bank app to see how much was available for last night that we could freely spend if necessary. And he said, look, we've got ... available. and you could go on ahead and get me a candy bar too. I said, are you sure? Because I was just going to spend my own money. He said, no, you go on ahead. And so I was very tickled about that because I'm not wanting to spend my loose change. I am really trying to be a better steward about it. And that's the one great thing about me not being into the junk food that I once was, because in my past, I would have excessively spent all my own resources to the point that I wouldn't have a dime. And then I would have to ask him, would you like anything from DG? Because I'm wanting such and such, you know. But this time he volunteered and offered for me to go on ahead and to get him. So that's what I did. I made it in time to DG, and I got myself the XL. Don't judge. Like I said, I had been suffering from hunger all day, and I felt desperate to get some really high carbs in me. So, now mind you, this was around, when I looked at my watch, it was 8:49 when I got over there. So, it was going to be a late nighter, but I got myself an XL size cookies and cream, and I was wanting the rolled gold cheddar pretzels. Well, they didn't have rolled gold cheddar pretzels, but I saw they had the Gardettos, so I thought, okay, I'm going to get me Gardettos. I ran on ahead and got what my housemate wanted, and got back. I dived right in. Now, the way it's been working for me, where I have been eating more wholesome foods, more well balanced, protein packed, and, really focusing on making sure that it's perfectly balanced with less junk food involved, that anytime that I would eat something sweet, it pretty quickly got old and overwhelming. But last night, as I'm eating on that cookies and cream, the further I'm getting down the bar, the more I'm thinking, this is still going down really good. I mean, it wasn't making me feel stuffed, cramped, bloated, burning stomach. It was still tasting good. I ended up finishing the entire thing. Then I dived right into the Gardettos. And I'm targeting on the pretzels because that's what I had the taste for to begin with. So I'm targeting on the pretzels, getting some of the little bread pieces, but mostly targeting on the pretzels. And it was like I was still suffering from getting that satisfaction, but finally, I had hit the point, and I was able to fold up the bag, put a clip on it, and put it away in the pantry. But I went through all that yesterday. All that. And no matter what I did, there was no satisfaction. No matter what I did, protein, 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 it didn't matter. And so it finally took me eating but it done the trick. It done the trick. Unfortunately, I did have to fall asleep in bed, sitting up with my pillows propping me up pretty high. But at least I had finally reached that peak. And that's therefore me gaining the whole pound and 2 ounces back. Oh my goodness, it almost seems like I just can't get that going back down. But, but I have gained fresh hope because, like, I know that the Lord is directing me to walk with Him, which is a plus. But we have had storm the last couple of mornings, so that kind of, like, I ran into a storm when I started walking Tuesday. And then, like, it just, yesterday, the Lord had directed me to take that physical break. And it was a good thing, too, because my lower back was really bothering me. And my heel on my left foot was still bothering me from the walk before. But I did do some strength training, which was a plus. And I feel that He is leading me to do walking on alternative days and in between doing the strength training. So I'm going to be alternating back and forth. But now this morning I didn't get to go walking because I was so exhausted from the last 2 days, not to mention I'm having to recondition my body as far as it goes, like my raking and everything. And so as it happens, this morning I allowed myself to sleep in. I've got my watch set to go off at 6, but I slept in until 8:30, which was a good thing. I still went to bed before 11, which was another good thing. So, it kind of balanced out. But I do feel that He's directing me to walk on alternative days with Him and the other alternative days strength training. So today would have been my walking day. But last night, once again, we had thunderstorm just like we had Tuesday and everything. And poor Callie, she does not like the storm. And here I was. I woke up hearing the thunder. Matter of fact, I had to get up and go pee. But at this point, I don't think she had woke up from the thunder yet. But as I went into the bathroom, I saw the lightning in the distance, and I thought I had heard distant thunder, but I wasn't quite positive because where the house is located, as you can hear right now in the background, that's the main artery, one of the main arteries through Texas in this area. And so we've got semi-trucks that's constantly traveling, and some of them makes a big rattling sound. And so I wasn't sure if I woke up hearing thunder or if I was hearing the semi-trucks. But when I saw the lightning, I knew that it was coming. And sure enough, I had hardly no sooner laid back down and the thunder started getting louder. And that's when Callie woke up. So I didn't get a chance to go right back to sleep. It took me probably around 30 minutes to get her calmed down, get her to lie down, and for her to doze back off. It really disrupts both of our sleep when storm comes through because it freaks her out. So I finally did get to go back to sleep. When I had looked at my watch last night, it was like 1:38 or so. So because my initial thought was, okay, I'm going to be getting up at 6. And if I'm to go walking, the Lord will wake me up even sooner. But when the storm hit and Callie kept me up while I was trying to comfort her, because she's got this little thing, she'll come right up to me and she'll put her paw on my mouth, like, make it stop, or stop making that noise, or whatever she's trying to tell me. But she'll put her paw on my mouth. And I have to tell her all the time, I can't make it stop. So it takes a little bit of time for me to get her calmed down. But I thought to myself, I'm just going to let myself sleep in. And sure enough, I needed it. but I didn't sleep in as long as I had anticipated that I would. So that was fine. I still got up at a decent time, but I knew that I wasn't going to go walking this morning but the temperature is nice right now. The humidity has come down a whole lot with all the storm, and it's actually a very comfortable temperature out here. Matter of fact, if it cooled off anymore, I would have to be wearing long sleeves. So it's actually comfortable at this moment. But last night before I went to bed, because I was like finishing up what I was eating and my earnings, because as I'd said, I was still trying to find that satisfaction. And I came across a woman that I used to watch, and I'd forgotten all about her. All about her. I don't even remember the name of her channel now, but she came across, and the title was How I Got Rid of My Menopause Belly at the Age of 55. I immediately clicked on it, and I didn't realize that it was her, even though her picture was on the thumbnail. I didn't realize it was her until the video started up. And then I thought, oh, I forgot all about her. Now, she's a Christian as well, but she doesn't like talk on biblical principles. But she is such a very decent woman, and she has spoken about the Lord before, but it's not her main focus. And it's not that she doesn't practice Christianity, it's just that what she's working on is finding out more about health, staying healthy, and sharing her wisdom. So, that's all fine and dandy. But anyway, she was talking about what she had found that worked to minimize her stomach, which she really didn't have much of a stomach anyway. But nonetheless, there was somewhat of a little poof there. And she had said that one of the things that women has to be aware of during menopause is three things: osteoporosis, um, heart complications, and Alzheimer. So, um, she had ran on to say that her mother, at the age of 55, had a stroke, and now she's 55, and so she's having to really watch over herself, and she's busy taking care of her mother now, who is an invalid. And but she went on to say what she had to do, and so in comparison of what she was saying and what I'm doing: one, protein packed meals; two, eating when hungry; three, uh, please be patient with me. Um, Being able to eat three meals, but being satisfied with two. Uh, Walking, or at least trying to get back into it. Strength training. So I'm all into that. I'm all into that. Cutting out a lot of sugars and junk food. So far, I was hitting it up. Everything that she was naming, I was hitting it up. And then she said that she had cut the limit of sugars down. I've already been focusing on that to make sure that I'm not eating so much of the fast carbs that's really sugar loaded. And I'm not against eating sugar. I promise I'm not. And I know people really frown upon it. They'd rather have the stevia and the Nutri-Sweet and the aspartame and all that. But for me, having false sugar, it makes me feel like I've got a rock in my gut. I don't like the feeling that I get in my stomach, and I sure don't like the aftertaste on the back of my tongue because I can't get rid of it. Once it's there, I cannot get rid of that taste on the back of my tongue, and it makes everything else taste horrible. I don't like it. But I have been trying to bring down the amount of carbs that has high levels of sugar without completely cutting out sugar or having to go to fake sugar. Now, I have got, and I have shown on my pictures, one hideous looking stomach. I mean, it's hideous. But what I see, you all haven't seen, even though I've took the picture of it without coverage. But there's still something there that you all don't see. And that is that above my belly button, it hangs out further than my lower stomach. And it's firm. It's not hard like a rock, but it's firm. It doesn't give very much when I push on it. And it does cause me a problem. It causes when I lay down, it pushes all the stomach acid up into my throat. It causes me severe pain when I'm in the wrong position. I go to bend over to tie my shoes or to clip my toenails, and my stomach burns, or I'll end up burping acid. I mean, it's a problem. It's a problem. And it can even cause me to have breathing problems if it's too large, because it fluctuates. And I have had concerns about that, and I have addressed the Lord about it. I have asked Him about it. And so after listening to her, and as I was getting ready to say, in the past, when I had asked the Lord about it and me being so concerned about that, in some ways, I believe I had been sensing Him telling me that it's the mocha. And I don't know if it's coffee in general or if it is just the mocha. But I have been sensing Him me it's the mocha, and this has been like a very light press throughout the months, especially when my stomach had really started protruding, because it seems like it had increased. Whereas before, in any weight loss effort, my stomach would slowly go down with the rest. So after hearing her, I prayed about it, because I do know that the International Delight mocha flavored coffee in the carton, it's almost like having straight chocolate milk. I'm serious. You don't taste the coffee. In the cans, you do. The coffee is very strong in the cans, but in the carton, it isn't. And I'm not sure how much added sugars is in it, but I also happen to know that if you keep your blood sugar running a little high, that can cause bloating in the stomach as well. Now, as I have said before, either late of 23 or early of 24, I had done a little test of cutting out soda and seeing what happened. Well, immediately, the first day that I didn't drink soda, my stomach felt softer to the touch, softer. And I didn't have bloating like I had had with soda. And within 4 days, I had lost, I think I'd mentioned in my video 4 pounds. But nonetheless, I had lost some weight by cutting out the sodas. Now, at that time, I was drinking Monster energy drink coffees, mocha flavored. And I didn't have any problems out of that. But like I had noticed, and it was all according to how much weight I was up or down, but I had noticed that, like, for a while there, the lowest I had got after I had stopped drinking the soda, if I remember correctly, was 213, because I was over 220 when I had done without the soda, when I had done the test. So the lowest I'd gotten was 213, and I had noticed that my stomach was going along with everything else. So that was fine. That was great. And I thought it was okay, you know, because I was also concerned about drinking coffee, even if it was the Monster product. But when I saw that my stomach was continuing to drop, my weight was continuing to drop, then I thought, okay, that's fine. But I had gained the weight back because I was still freely eating, you know, and I wasn't waiting until I was hungry. I wasn't focusing on balanced meals. I was just, if I was in the mood for chips, I ate chips. If I was in the mood for candy, I ate candy. I was going over to DG almost every day, getting myself something else. You know, I was wasting money at DG on junk. So, you know, that was my downfall there, because I would have had great success. I was picking up on my walking again, but at the same time, I was feeling lethargic. I wasn't really getting stronger or gaining stamina. And then I had just pretty well quit walking altogether, and it all, because I might would have had success. So, um, I had dropped the Monster because I had seen a woman who was talking about the labeling, and she had mentioned about the 3 claw marks. They're separated. They're not like as one claw mark, which, you know, any animals, any claw marks, they're separate anyway. But she was saying, and she showed it, that the marks are similar to the Hebrew marks, which marks the number 6. And 3 of them would be 666, which of course is the mark of the beast. And she said, and also when they say release the beast, and up in the corner, and she showed something on the can, a symbol, which isn't there. I mean, maybe it was back when she was doing this, because it was kind of an older video. But I didn't see it. And I had looked on the can that she was showing, and I'd looked on the mocha can and everything. So the symbol's gone. But she made another point. the O in monster has got what looks like the symbol of a cross. Well, I'd always thought that it was just slitted eyes like a dragon and didn't think anything of it. And she said, you've got this cross here in the O and it's upside right, but when you tip it up, it goes upside down. So in other words, she was making it out like it's possible that the Monster Company, the company that makes Monster, is celebrating or worshiping the Antichrist and his beast. I can't say for sure. But shortly after watching that, I started feeling a conviction about supporting the company. So I had stopped drinking it. And that I had already tried the International Delight in the cans prior, and I'd actually liked the flavor of the Monster Mocha better. But after I'd stopped drinking that, I went directly to drinking the cans of the International Delight cans. And then I discovered that they've got them in cartons. Now, how I found that out was I was wanting to get some of the cans at Walmart one day, and I found that they didn't have cans, but looking, I discovered that they did have cartons. Now, at first, I thought it was coffee creamer. Well, International Delight does have coffee creamer in the liquid form, and it is actually behind the closed doors with the milk. But the cartons is in the open cooler where you'll find your yogurts and your juices. So I ran on ahead and I started investing in those. And I've been drinking the cartons now for quite some time because I don't like how strong the coffee is in the cans. And the thing is, I don't know if the time I'd started drinking from the cartons correlates with when I noticed that my stomach had started protruding extra or not. I even tried to think about that this morning, but I brought it up to the Lord last night before I went to bed after watching the video from that woman. And I said, Lord, is it the mocha that is causing me to have this stomach that just will not go down? Because, see, this is what's happening with my efforts of weight loss. And when I measure my waist and my hips is losing in size. But my stomach is staying pretty well the same and sometimes even larger. Not larger than my hips. The last time I measured my hips, I was around 46 inches. But I measured my waist not too long ago, and I didn't bother to measure my hips, just my waist. And my waist came in at, I think I wrote down 40 and a half or 41 and a half, something like that. And that's not good. A stomach that's that big on a woman is potential problems toward having a heart attack or even congestional problems. And I'm not wanting to get there. I'm not wanting to cause my body harm. So once again, I asked the Lord about it this morning because I know how much I enjoy that mocha. I started drinking coffee on the whole part for the medicinal purposes because it keeps me from cramping when I'm menstruating. But I haven't exactly ever found for the mocha to help me as much in that as just drinking a cup of coffee with creamer and sugar. And so I was I was able to stop drinking soda over a year ago, and the last time I tried to drink soda was RC cherry flavored. And it got to the point that that stuff was nasty. I just didn't like it anymore. I didn't enjoy it. So I could do without soda. And I told the Lord, I said, if the mocha is causing problems with me keeping a protruding stomach and keeping me from really losing the weight after everything that I've been doing to better my health and lose it, then help me stop drinking it or whatever I need to do. Just guide me. So he directed me. We've got one cup that I found out this morning doing what he instructed me to do, that it's a 12 ounce. I had thought maybe it was a simple 8 ounce because it's a pretty small glass. It's a small mug, but it turns out to be more like a 12 ounce because I poured the mocha into it according to where he had instructed me. And then I poured it in my big 20.5 coffee mug, and it made it half a cup. Okay. So just to be extra sure of just how much it made, I poured it into my Christian traveling mug. And it's about how much that I'd been drinking, which equals about 10 ounces. And that kind of troubled me. That troubled me a little bit because, like in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if I'm not to drink this, then I would be needing to drink less, especially if the Lord is wanting to wean me. But the thing is, what I had been finding myself doing, like in the last few weeks, on occasion, I would fill my travel mug to the top, which is 20 ounces, having myself a full 20 ounces of coffee. Now, in the past, I had experienced that, like drinking the mocha, it didn't cause me stomach trouble. Whereas when I drink coffee with creamer and sugar, I end up with a burning stomach. And that is because coffee is very acidic. But me drinking the mocha from the carton had never caused me problems before. But here lately, even with me eating more wholesome, protein packed, well balanced meals, I have been still suffering from the sharp pains and acid reflux, not being able to go directly asleep on my side. And so I am really honestly feeling the Lord's direction on this, that first off, I can't have 20 ounces of the mocha. That's a definite. No 20 ounces. And now I am waiting to see if the Lord is going to slowly wean me off of it or if he's going to slowly bring my uh, ounces down. I don't know if he's going to cut it completely out or what, but I am going by the Lord's direction. And I told him this morning that whatever it is that I have to do to get rid of this stomach, I will do it for him to just show me. So if it really is the mocha that's given me the protruding stomach and the acid reflux all over again, then I want it out. I want it out. I don't want it no more if that's the problem. So I am just I'm going to make sure that, because as far as I can see, especially with how I've been doing with my eating lately, the only other thing that is really causing trouble as far as it goes, added sugar, would be that mocha. And if that really is the reason for the protruding stomach, then I am more than willing to drop it down or eliminate it. But I'm afraid that the Lord would have to wean me off of it because, as much as I hate to admit it, I may actually be addicted to it. And that is not good. I don't want to be addicted to anything. So, and as far as it goes, drinking coffee for the medicinal reasons, well, perhaps that'll be okay too. And I know that the Lord has got greater plans for me. All I got to do is just pay attention and take good care of this body. So that's where that's at right now. Now, this morning I had a great start with my food. I had my sausage and my eggs and my yogurt. Now, I know my yogurt, it is not sugar free. It's definitely not diabetic friendly or anything like that. But I don't think it's got as much added sugar as that mocha drink. I would have to go back and look, but I don't think it does. And the yogurt does really good. It's keeping my complexion clear on my face. I don't suffer from adult acne anymore, which is terrific. It keeps my digestive system going very well, um, and it's an added protein. Uh, if I remember correctly, there's like 8 grams of protein in my yogurt. So, and it's Greek yogurt. So that I wouldn't want to cut that out at all because I know for a fact that I am benefiting from that. I don't think there's any benefits to me drinking the mocha, but there definitely is eating the yogurt. And it works quite a bit toward taking care of dessert, so to speak. Um, I mean, it's not only good for breakfast, but it's good to go with dinner too. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. So I am looking forward to seeing just where this is going to be heading. If I'm going to start seeing a drop in my stomach, if it's going to be similar to the test that I had done with the soda, and what it will be like with the burning sensation in my stomach and everything. I am very serious about doing my body better. I really am. And I am enjoying the benefits so far of changing how I eat. So with this, if I don't know, maybe I'll be putting the lid on the boiling pot and really keeping it going. But something has got to give. I had gotten down to 219 just as of early of last month. And I sure don't want to gain the weight back. So I do what I got to do, right? Now, I do know that when I had gotten down to 219, I was also focusing on trying to walk so many steps a day, trying to at least do around 20,000, at least. And I was only allowing myself to drink 10 ounces. Sometimes I had 12 ounces, but I never had more than that. So maybe, just maybe, I got to do even better than that with the mocha. The other thing Um, I don't remember if the woman had said or if it was something. I think it's something she said. Hmm. I had my train of thought there. I was on a roll, and then I went back to the mocha. It doesn't pay for me to stop in the line of thought. Oh well, if I'm supposed to mention it, it'll come back to me. uh, I'm just going to keep at it, though. I am. I don't even know what was going on at that point. Gee. Now, that was one thing that was mentioned about menopause and perimenopause. Matter of fact, I'd watched a video this doctor was talking about early perimenopause, middle perimenopause, and late perimenopause. And apparently, according to her descriptions, I am in middle perimenopause, getting ready to go into late perimenopause. So my change of life is seriously starting to come into full circle, which I'm ready for, but at the same time, I'm having to adjust because as it happens, when you are in a change like this, you can't do the same thing that you did when you was younger. Your body is stiffer. Your sleeping pattern is different. Your body temperature is different. Your if you don't learn early, your food cravings is different. Your mood is different. Everything is so different. But what I'm noticing about this is the very fact that I really am discovering physically how old I'm getting. Now, I'm still young. I am still so freakingly young. I'm still in my 20s, but my body is telling me otherwise. So I do not want my mind to catch up with my body. I don't. Oh my goodness, no. But the one thing that takes place during middle perimenopause is memory lapses. And I've been discovering that frequently. I mean, even right down to the point of when I am writing, because I like to journal when I do my Bible studies. I like to journal. And I am even forgetting how to spell words. Now, I had turned off automatic word correction on my settings on the phone because I didn't like how that it would put another word in there and then I'd have to go back, erase it, and rewrite it the way I wanted it. But I found that I had to turn word correction back on so that it would double ask me, are you sure this is the word that you want or your word is misspelled? I used to be a grade A and B speller in school. I've done good with spelling, and I am forgetting how to even spell. Oh, I can handle with hot flashes. That's not so bad. The night sweats, I don't sweat all that much during the nighttime. On occasion, I might find that my chest is damp or a little sweaty. But on the whole part, I really don't suffer night sweats. Uh, but I don't want to lose my memory. And so here I am. I'm trying to tell you about the different things that I'm doing with my eating and what I have learned for me to do better. And there was a beautiful train of thought. And I don't know if it was in comparison or what I'm doing or what I heard the woman say or what, because it is gone. It's out the window. It flew away. I don't know what I was even thinking. I don't know if I can handle memory loss with this change. It drives me nuts, and I know I don't have dementia. I don't have Alzheimer's, but I'll be daggone if I forget my train of thought. I can't stand that. Me having to. It was so comical. Last week, we had to get a plumber in, and my dog's done great when he came into the house. And so I'm trying to text my housemate to let him know that his dog Bouncy done great with the plumber instead of barking at him and following him at his heels, you know. And I wanted to write down that she done exceptionally well. So as I am starting to type this to him, I thought, how do you spell that? I know how to spell it, but I'd be daggone if I turned around and I took any paper that I came across and I had a pen in hand and I'm trying to write it down to see if I recognized its spelling, and it was pathetic because none of the spelling looked right. I'm going, because I know how to spell it, but I couldn't spell it. And that bothered me so bad. So bad. I'm thinking to myself, I'm a grade A speller. I know how to spell these words. Why am I not remembering them? And believe it or not, it was shortly after that that I found the video of the woman talking about the different symptoms of the early, middle, and late perimenopause. And when she said memory loss, I thought, I'm definitely in middle perimenopause. That was my answer right there. Like, I know what's going on with me now. Why I can't remember these certain things. And it drives me nuts because I like being able to remember, you know. It's troubling if you don't remember things. And that is just, oh my goodness. So, whatever it is that I was getting ready to say about my eating, because I was talking about cutting out the mocha, or if I've got to just drop it. And I was talking about walking, and I just. So here I am. At least I am able to remember what I got to do every day as far as it goes toward working for weight loss. But I am hoping very much that whatever the Lord has got me doing, whether to completely cut the mocha out or just minimize the amount that I drink, I am really hoping to be able to see there be an ultimate change in my weight. I have been stuck now hovering between 223 and 222 for almost a complete month now, after me seeing 219 earlier last month. And I'm just not liking that. And I know that there's got to be something about it. There's got to be something about it. So it is completely a hit and miss right now. Me fumbling through this, weighing the pros and cons about everything, testing, trying, finding out what's true and what's not, and just going with it. And I'm not wanting to mess up my metabolism in any way, because I do know that when you do all kinds of different techniques, you really mess up your system. So I'm trying to keep it at a steady pattern. That way I don't screw it up and then nothing really happens. I know that I'm not broken. It is still possible to lose this weight. It is still possible to lose the stomach. And I know that it has had to have made a big difference with at least the change of what foods I am trying to eat more of and what foods I'm trying to eat less of. So that's a change in the right direction there, because I am having more energy with it. I don't feel so lethargic or disabled anymore. So if I drop the mocha, that would also allow my blood sugar to stay in the normal range. It's been quite some time since I've done a sugar test. Maybe it would pay for me to do one sometime. But if I do that, and then it would bring my blood sugar down, there would have to be a change there too, correct? Like me seeing that uh, not only my stomach go down, but maybe being able to concentrate a little easier. Um, I know high blood sugar can also cause vision to blur. And so I want my vision to stay clear. So I don't have diabetes, but I have been pre-diabetic before when I ate a whole mess of grapes. I got into grapes. They were so refreshing, and I was just eating them like crazy. And when I was given a test, it showed up that I was pre-diabetic. Like, nope. I got thinking about it, because like I'm also trying to change my habits and how I keep the household and stuff, because I really am a lazy person, sadly. And so it takes a whole lot of effort for me to get my lazy bummer off of the couch or whatever I'm into to get other things done. And I was telling the Lord this morning that, like, I've been able to stop drinking sodas. I've been able to stop. I think I'd said binge eating or eating a whole mess of junk food or whatever it was. Anyway, I've been able to stop certain things, but I said now I'm wanting to start, and blah blah blah. And then it was like a big old knock in the head. If I'm able to stop doing this and this, I could stop being lazy. The magic word is stop. Okay. Stop being lazy. That's going to take effort, but yeah. And any habit, if it's not healthy for you, or if it's not a good habit and behavior, attitude, whatever, it takes time to change that habit and start doing better. It takes time. So with the Lord's help, I know I can do this too. And I remember now, I lost it. Come on, Amy, get with it. Get with it. Oh my goodness. It was just there again. Dang. Oh my goodness. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The logging. The woman that I was watching last night who had said that she had cut out the sugar and she had lost the belly as well. But she said because of being in menopause, and I know right now, like I said, I'm in middle perimenopause, but she was talking about menopause, and I think it would go the same way for peri as much as menopause itself. She said that allow yourself to sleep more, especially like in the morning, because that allows you to stay in intermittent fasting a little longer, allows your metabolism to come back up to normal after draining it. And she said you also need to eat more, but she wasn't meaning like eating bad foods. And she gave an example of her plate, and it was protein focused. But she said you have to eat more and make sure that it is protein packed, and don't worry about counting calories. And she went on to explain, because I understand that counting calories is really good and everything when you're in a weight loss effort. But the way she explained it was that because you're in menopause, your body needs more to keep up with it. And that makes a lot of sense, because when the estrogens drop and the all the other good stuff, the testosterone, progesterone, or just that P1, progesterone, whatever. That's a new one to me anyway. I had never even heard of that hormone. But anyway, she said that when it drops, the body needs more to keep up with that drop. She said, so like instead of aiming for it around 1,700 calories or something, you just go on ahead and make sure it's protein packed and make sure that you only eat when you're hungry. And that made a lot of sense to me, because that, I'd been trying to focus on keeping my calories within a certain amount, not necessarily like a precise amount of calories, but wanting to keep it within a certain range. And I had never really thought about needing to eat more to keep up with my hormone levels. But she did make it very plain to make sure that your meals are well balanced and protein focused. So that kind of makes me feel better. And I had realized just this morning that I know what a plate looks like when it's protein based. And by now, where I had been practicing of eating more proteins and looking at the status of my proteins compared to my carbs, it had gotten to the point that by now, with the way that I eat, my carbs, even though like they're more in grams compared to the proteins that I eat, they are still less in the percentage for my daily allowance. Whereas my proteins the percentage for my daily allowance has increased. So I have really done a good job with changing that and reversing the role. So unless I am eating something absolutely new over the same old that I've been basically doing, if I eat like a new dish, I might log it to see where it stands potentially. But on the whole part, I'm not going to bother logging my food anymore. I'm just going to go by my hunger and satisfaction mechanism. And I'm going to make sure that it is protein packed foods, well balanced. That way I've got my nutrients and a small mix of carbs for energy reason. And you just keep going from there. But I do want to make sure that I don't go into gluttony or eating beyond the boundaries of my satisfaction or fullness, because that's when it can backfire on me. But I'm going to keep it just right for my body as my body needs it. So I am taking all this in. I am learning all this. And I figured that what I'm going to do is, because I've been hearing all kinds of different things from different people concerning weight loss, perimenopause, belly fat, dotty, dotty, dotty. And what I'm going to do is I am going to ream through it and grab what I feel the Holy Ghost is telling me will work for my system in the season that I'm in right now, and just work toward that. Like, for instance, I've been watching Brianna, and she's only 36. And so, what she's doing currently for her age doesn't necessarily all go for what would work for me at my age. I'm 53. So, I'm having to consider what season I'm in right now, how old I am, and the things that she talks about, I can take a lot of that and use it for my advantage, but not everything that works for her at the age of 36 will work for me at the age of 53. So I'm just going to go with it like that. I'm hoping that the woman that I watched last night will come on with some more great advice, because I used to watch her on a normal basis. I used to watch her all the time. And now that I am trying to pay attention to these different things, because before in the past I would watch them, but I really didn't act on them. I didn't put into practice anything that I'd heard or learned. But this time I'm listening and I'm trying to put it into practice. So I'm hoping very much that I will watch her again and she'll have more advice and I can go with that. And at the same time, I can listen to Brianna and take some more from her and just combine it and let it go from there. I truly am trusting the Holy Spirit to guide me in every bit of this. And if I'm stumbling on something, or if I'm troubled about something, really wondering if it's going to work for me, or if it has been working for me, I am going to consult the Lord about it. And I know that He will direct my path the way that I need to go in order for me to do what's right for my age in this season. So I am looking for success. I'm looking for success. And for all I know, the Lord might have me drop the mocha, because I'm also sensing the word ream. And if that's the case, that means He's going to ream me off of the mocha, which will be fine with me. I am more than willing to let the stuff go if it is causing me digestible digestible problems. So that's where I'm at right now. A little bit of break game because of yesterday, because I couldn't find the satisfaction, and I don't know if that has anything to do with me just starting out with a ham sandwich and it really was protein packed, or if it had anything to do with the energy that I had burnt Tuesday. The good news about that, though, is before when I had burned a lot of calories, the next day I was very weak, but I had only refueled with just a little under 1,200 calories. Well, as it happened, Tuesday, after burning so many calories, I refueled properly. And I really did pack it down with the protein. I really did make sure that I had refueled. But maybe in part that's the reason why I didn't find the satisfaction yesterday. But the good news is I did have energy. I had energy. I just had a little bit of lower back pain and my heel hurting me. But other than that, I felt good. So little tweaking here, there, learning my lessons here, there. It's all going to work together in the end. It's going to work together in the end. And I know that at least by me making this effort, me really trying to learn now, me really taking it into account and acting on it, there has got to be some really major changes. There's got to be. Surely. Truly. So, yeah. I might not be drinking mocha by the end of the week, by the end of next week, because this is Thursday. Tomorrow I'm supposed to mow the grass, but I don't think I'm going to, not with all the rain that we've had. And it's starting to get dark just in my vision ahead. So I think we might be into some more rain. So no, I may be missing a week on mowing the grass. And I have to tell you, I don't like mowing the grass when it's tall because it gets hard to push through. So much easier to mow the grass when it's only a week's growth. But hey, if you can't mow the grass, you can't mow the grass. What you gonna do about it, huh? Nothing much. Just let it grow until you can. Anyway, um, I look forward to seeing what changes may come from all this. And I am really, really working at it because I want this so much. I want this so much. I do. For my health, for how I feel in the morning, how I feel during the day. And I know that I'm making the effort to take better care of this body that God blessed me with, not to mention He dwells in it. My body is His temple. I've got to take care of it. So I'm hungry right now, and I'd already had my breakfast. So I might fix myself like a half ham because I've got things that I got to do. I've got me a small list of things to get done in the house. And that goes along with me learning to not be lazy and just get her done, as Larry the Cable Guy would say. So I am going to leave yins with this. Thank you so much for listening and watching and visiting. I am very grateful for every one of you who had visited. But this is where I'm at now. I'm not happy with the rate I'm at. I'm not happy with hovering where I'm at. I'm not happy with my stomach because it is painful. It's truly painful. It's not just a vanity thing, even though I don't like how it looks with my shirts and my pants. It's more of a medical thing. It's painful. The acid, the weight, it pushing up into my lungs, I don't like it. It feels heavy. I can feel its weight on the inside. I don't like it. And I know that it's got to do with a lot of what's called visceral fat around the organs. I got to get rid of that. It's got to go. It's got to go. So that is what my bigger focus is right now. And I know that as I practice for taking care of that matter, then everything else will go too, because I'm already practicing eating better. So that's where I'm standing. And hopefully I will find out whether or not dropping the mocha and drinking less of it and maybe even completely cutting out will make such a big difference on my gut. And I will most certainly keep you up with the update on that, on how I'm feeling without drinking it and how my stomach is doing without drinking it and everything else. We'll see as time goes by. Anyway, I love you all. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And thank you to any new followers. I greatly appreciate you as well. Thank you for joining. And I will be with you tomorrow with another live stream. And Saturday is grocery day, so there won't be a live stream on Saturday. Sundays is rest day, so that's that there. But Monday we resume a fresh week, and I will be letting you know what's up then. So anyway, yes. Once again, thank you very much for joining, watching, even on the replay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you watching. I will see you tomorrow on the next live stream, and you all have a great rest of your day.